Get rich fast with csgofast.com.
ESL One New York continues the second half of the 2016 season with another $250,000 tournament, and I'm Stitch with HLTV, and I have my first video interview with Pimp. Last time I talked to you, you were wearing completely different team colors, and now we see you in Liquid, so let's just start with the whole Liquid situation. You guys haven't been seen for a long time offline. Now that you've played 2 offline matches, how do you feel about the way you guys presented your team, or presented the team?
So far, I actually feel very confident and very well about it. It's no secret that online we've been playing like a bunch of noobs, basically. We've lost to teams and we've lost matches that we definitely shouldn't have lost. Missed the E-League qualifier, missed some other key games in ESL Pro League, which probably means we won't go to the Pro League finals. So it's been a rough period for us, especially online. So I'm glad that we already now show promising stuff online, and we kind of knew that online is a different thing than online. The history of the team, even before I joined them, have always been more confident online, and we already now proved that, I guess. So that's always good. We got better and better online as well, and especially the last week we've been having a boot camp, and you could just easily feel that we got more comfortable with each other, and the whole team just bonded more together. So I'd say it's a reflection of the work we've put in the last week, and it's only going one way right now, and that's up.
So the game against Navi, it looked pretty good, and then it just felt like the T side trouble struck, and you guys couldn't really get that rolling. Is there anything specific that you can tell me that happened during that second half that limited you guys from equalizing the score and possibly winning?
Yeah, I'd say it actually was the whole match. The CT side could have been much better for us. We won the pistol round, then we won the second round, but we lost an eco in the third one, which we shouldn't have lost, first of all. So it kind of went wrong all the way on the CT side. I felt that we have good control over Navi actually, and we knew what they were doing, and we had 4 or 5 rounds where we were actually playing it 5 versus 4 because we got the first pick, but we somehow managed to throw away all the rounds, and they managed to exploit our mistakes basically. So I felt that we should have had a much stronger CT side first of all, and on T we lost the pistol, but we got the second round, so we kind of built up a little bit of momentum there. But they were just too strong, and we lost some key rounds, and eventually it wasn't really a close match in terms of score. I think it was 16-9 or 16-10, but I felt that 16-9, yeah. I felt at least it was a match that we easily could have won had we not played sloppy, I'd say. So we went away from that match disappointed that we didn't do better, but we also had some positive things to drag into the next game again, Game of 2, because we knew that could we just not die stupidly and not give away those facts that we did against Navi, we would probably play way better and win the game. So it kind of helped us that we had that feeling into the second game.
Yeah, you definitely adapted on the first half where you had a dominant first half, but then another problem showed itself, which I'm sure Twitch chat. This is the second time Dupree has somehow gotten in the way of my interviews. The third time. All right, well, so I feel like Twitch chat was, liquid choke, etc. But you guys were able to actually exert some control. So how did you do that? Did someone call something? Was it Peacemaker? Was it the new pause rule? What was the main factor in getting control of that game again?
I think it was a team effort. As you said, we had a very good CT side. We went up 13-2, and we just played perfect CS, I'd say, in some sense. I felt it could have been a 15-0, half even. That's how great it felt for us. So it was a good CT side. As serious, we started out losing the pistol, and we started out losing the first buy round. So we kind of were, oh no, not this again, right? But we quickly we before the game talked about, okay, if we end up losing the first couple of rounds, we have something we can go to that we know works, and that's what we did. So it was a pre-planned thing with Peacemaker chiming in, and we made a plan with him. So he used the pauses just to remind us of what we talked about before game, and we did what we talked about all of us before the game. So and it worked. So it was more like a team effort, the whole team, Peacemaker, and basically everyone chiming in and making that plan, and it just worked as a charm. We won the following 2 gun runs and won 16-7. So we never really got scared because we knew that we still didn't pull off the winning stretch that we actually had. We tried to start out just basic, which didn't work, and then we switched it up another gear, and it quickly closed the match, I guess.
How is Peacemaker's effectiveness since this new coach ruling? Is he still able to do the same thing, or has it completely changed?
It has completely changed, to be honest. Like we had to go through a lot of like changes in terms of in-game leaguing. I think almost everyone on the team now have tried for a period. For this event, it's Nitro.
Yeah,
Nitro. So yeah, we were like through our online matches, we went through a lot of stuff. Like obviously some of the tournaments Peacemaker can still call, but we also knew at the tournament that he couldn't. So we kind of prepared ourselves for this event in the sense that we maybe gave up some online games or put us in a worse position than we could have had Peacemaker just called, just to get prepared for this event. So it was kind of like a sacrifice we made, but I feel that's worth it for a tournament of this caliber. So yeah, Peacemaker is not, I wouldn't say he's not as effective, but he's effective in another way now. It's more about preparation, it's more about anti-stratting and like presenting a game plan to us that we can like understand and we first of all like and feel confident with. And that's something like he has to adapt to as well as we have to adapt to Nitro being the shot caller and Peacemaker not being able to like call round by round. So it's a new role for him, it's a new role for us, and I think that has been our biggest problem, like finding that style that everyone is comfortable with. We've had a lot of problems with it. Main reason why we lost the online games and like lost to teams that we honestly never should lose to, but there was just something like missing, and we felt comfortable in a lot of situations where we now I'd say feel more comfortable because everyone simply had time to adjust. So he's still very effective, but in a different way, I'd say.
Does the new game plan call for setting up Elige to get a lot of frags? Because he's been really going off.
He's been playing great so far. Like John is definitely one of the players that we look up to. Like he is our entry fragger. He gets put in position where he's able to frag, and like this tournament he's just gone off already. You know, he's playing out of his mind, and that's what you want from one of your star players. Like Elige and Nick are potentially like our two main rifle stars, I guess, where me and Spencer have some more laid back roles and are supposed to be more consistent and just get the job done, where those two are like the guys that can change a map, and like Elige's performance on the first match should have led to a win to my understanding against Navi, and on the second map he was playing well as well, and everyone was on the team. Like that's the difference. First map was only him stepping up, and second match everyone chimed in. Me and Spencer did our work, just did his work. Nick called a great match, so it was like a clean win. So yeah, definitely like John is one of the players we look up to. John is one of the guys that is supposed to get a lot of frags. Not always easy to do, but the way he's been playing so far is like to me it's like a superstar level. So if he can keep that up, I have high hopes for the rest of the tournament.
Let's talk about you. Whether you like it or not, the specter of Simple hangs over your head, and basically the first thing I have to ask about that is, does that put extra pressure on your shoulders that you can admit to?
It obviously put extra pressure in terms of the community. Like in terms of my individual role for the team, like in terms of the team's understanding of what I got signed to do, like it doesn't add any pressure. They know what they bought me, and they bought me for a reason, and they know what I'm expected to do, and right now I'm just trying to fulfill that job as good as I can. Obviously Simple is a way different player than I am. Trying to copy his play style or copy the way he played wouldn't be necessarily beneficial for any of us. So I've been assigned a job and a role, and I'm trying to adjust as well as I can to that role, basically. It's a different role than Simple, definitely not as a role that is as flashy as Simple. Like he had a lot of freedom, and they kind of played around the fact that he was the joker on the team. We don't do that now. Like we are a 5-man team, and we try to work together as a team. So that's a difference. Community is one thing, but knowing that my team stands behind me is the most important thing to me. So people can like in reality say whatever they want. It doesn't matter as long as I feel I have the team's support.
And the second thing about that is your living situation in Los Angeles. We saw how it negatively impacted him. Obviously he's a different person. How is living in LA in the Liquid House like impacting you? How's your life in general?
I'm pretty like happy about living in LA, to be honest. I think the most important thing for me was to obviously learn from Simple's mistake, because I think I located a few of those. Like I'm not interested in staying in my room like 7 hours or 7 days a week, 24 hours like it seemed like he did. I've been trying to make new friends. I've already made some new friends. Been going to a few parties and basically just trying to adapt the same lifestyle I had in Denmark, like which was going out every single weekend and stuff like that. So obviously it's a bit more difficult over here as I don't know people yet. So it's like a slow progress going on, but it's getting better and better. The weather is awesome. Like there's been a lot of focus on CS obviously, but I've had time to go for some nice bike rides or some nice runs or basically just enjoying the weather and the fact that I live in Los Angeles. So I probably don't play as much as Simple. I try to put in a lot of hours still, but I think it's very important to find a balance because for me this is like a long-term thing. I plan and the team plans to have me on board for a long time, and not only for like a major or 3 months, for example. So the whole approach in terms of how I individually show up and live my life in LA is different from Simple's. Like there's no right or wrong in doing whatever he did. It's just like long term, I believe it's better to actually try to adapt a normal life. Otherwise, it would get too sour, and I would get too frustrated just staying indoors.
Right, yeah, I could see that. So this is a random question I've been asking pros. What do you feel now that all the gun sounds are done? What do you feel about them? And also the rifle sounds. Someone told me that they almost thought SMGs were being fired. Like I think the M4. Did that confuse you at all during the games?
Actually, like it was the first time today I played with new sounds, so yeah, it kind of confused. Like there was around like I called they have an SMG on B side, and like we went out and there was an M4. So I was not used to the new sounds, and neither were my mates. So in that sense, yeah, it can confuse you. In terms of the news, I honestly don't give a shit about it because eventually you'll like get used to it. There will always be guys who like whine in the beginning, but in a week or two they all forget about it because that's like you just get used to it basically. So it can be hard in the beginning, but like the less you whine and the more you ignore it, the quicker you will actually adapt to it. So I guess that's the mentality I have and the rest of my team also. Like we don't really care. Like I wouldn't mind if they stayed the way they were before, but I honestly don't care because you'll get used to it eventually.
Right. So what's the most humorous observation as a Dane in the US you've made about NACS? Like the way maybe like the way it's played or anything?
Yeah, it's two very different styles, I'd say. Like in terms of just gameplay, it's like NA is way more like rushing kind of style, like walk rushing, fast-paced play. Where in Europe, like you like to play it a bit more slow, and you like to take like map control and do a default, and then base your like round on information that you gather during the round. Where in NA it's more like fast pace is more like a lot of more aim duels. Like you in the beginning over here, I was like getting caught with a flash or a nade in my hand like countless of time, like in our matches, because like in Europe I would never expect the guy to re-peek or actually peek me here, but over here it's like a different mentality. It's just like going for the kill and going with full speed. So that's something I had to get used to, basically, and that was like rough in the beginning because my aim was not on point, obviously, after the break, and that combined with the fact that I kind of got outplayed by myself by not being ready, made me play a lot worse than I probably should have. So it was tough, but that's like the main thing, I guess. Like besides from that, it is Counter-Strike. It's a universal game. There's a lot of the same things going on, obviously, but like the mentality and the way you play, I just like I'd say it's two different styles basically. So we've been trying to like get me to learn and figure out the NA style, while I try to put some of the European style into our team as well, because I feel there's like beneficial stuff to take from each.
Of course, yeah, that makes sense, and best of both worlds, right?
Exactly.
So I heard you guys might still play today. I'm not sure, like that final match, but in any case, who would you most likely want to play? I forget how it's going to work out, but who you think would be the best matchup for you?
We're either going to meet Virtus Pro or the loser of SK Astralis, depending on how the Navi Virtus Pro match goes. Not sure we're playing today. Also depends on that. I'd say of those three teams, I'd probably rather face Astralis. Obviously, SK is not a great opponent for us. Like Liquid's history against SK is not necessarily good. I think we won against them in Pro League 2-0 actually, and that was the first time in 17 maps I think we ever won them. And it was online, and it was with Showtime. So it was like. And we were like still a new team, so it was like you can't really count on that. So SK is definitely the most dangerous teams of those. I feel pretty comfortable against Astralis and Virtus Pro, to be honest. Personally, I've never had any bad experience with playing Virtus Pro. I feel that it's a team that suits me individual. They play clever, and they don't like make random stuff, which is my like weak side sometimes that I'm not ready for. Because maybe I think too slow or overthink stuff. So Virtus Pro is definitely an opponent I like to play against.
You don't think they do random stuff?
They do it, but it's more like it makes sense when they do it. It's not like random just to be random.
NA random.
NA random, exactly. So like Astralis will be a great matchup as well, and I think we have a great chance of winning both games.
So we did talk about how there's pretty much a chance that any team here could win. Is that overall indicative of the entire CS scene right now, that it's very volatile and kind of everybody has a weakness that's easily exploitable?
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting period right now in CS history. Like I don't think it's ever been this close, and I don't think we ever had a tournament where you potentially could say that 7 or maybe even 8 teams could win it. so that's a new thing, obviously. Right now, to me, it feels like every team have a problem they're struggling with, like one or more problems, as well as we have. So it's basically like whoever gets out of that like evil circle, I guess you can call it, like first is probably going to be the new like dominant force. Could be that it stays like this and it like really has tightened up the scene, but I think the like whole summer vacation and like after the major, it was placed at around the time that actually allowed teams to have like a month or even a month and a week vacation, which some teams did, and it just affects you like a lot when you have like lesser good teams playing a lot during that period. They close the gap so fast because the gap isn't that big in the beginning anyway. So it's made the scene way more closer, and I think eventually it will even a bit out again. I think the gap will grow a little bit bigger, but like in terms of how it was before, it definitely like got closer. So to me, it's all about like getting out of the, you would say, crisis or like figuring out your problems as the first team, and whoever does that and like get into a good streak, a good circle instead of the evil one is probably going to be a dominant force for the next 6 months.
So besides getting out of the evil circle, what's next for Liquid? I mean, you guys didn't qualify for E-League Season 2, which was a heartbreaker, but you are in for the E-League Major. And anything else that you guys are planning for or just training for?
Yeah, we have, like right now, we are probably not going to go to ESL Pro League Finals. We kind of blew that up by losing a lot of matches and drawing a lot of matches. We should have taken more points in. So it's like, I think we have to win the rest of the matches and get lucky as well. So it's like in a very thin stroke right now. Besides that, we have IEM Oakland, which will be. We recently announced a new investor, the owner of what are they called?
The Wizards or the Capitals. Capitals.
I'm so bad at basketball, but it's like Golden State Warrior and
Golden State Warriors and the
Wizards,
Wizards.
and then another guy as well.
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson as well. Yeah, I apologize. I'm not strong in basketball, but we have some new investors, and we're gonna play like in IEM Oakland, which is the Golden State Warriors' home turf, as far as I know. So we're gonna have like gonna have like a great experience there. We're gonna meet our new investors and like hopefully we play another awesome tournament in America. Then we have Northern Arena coming up as well. They announced it yesterday, I think, that we got invited. And besides from that, we don't really have much more. Like we, as you said, missed the E-League qualifier. That was a big bummer for us. Definitely a tournament that we wanted to play in, and definitely a tournament that I think in a month we could perform very well in. So that's kind of a bummer. And then looking forward to the next major is like obviously the main goal, but it's going to be I'd say like in terms of CSGO actually, it's going to be like a quiet second half season for us because we potentially only have 2 or 3 more events this year, and that's like not a lot if you consider how busy the CS scene normally is. Obviously there's the ECS season as well, which has LAN finals, but it actually requires that you win online matches as well, so it's not sure that we're going to go there either, but hopefully we will. So it's going to be a rather quiet half season, I'd say, for us.
Okay, so breaking the evil circle and winning online matches. All right, well, best of luck in the tournament. I mean, it's important for you guys to make a good impression. And yeah, so that was our interview with Pimp, and just stay tuned to HLTV for more interviews with players, coaches, etc.